From the moment I set foot in Athens, I was captivated. Drawn in by exotic streaks of character that struck me like the sweet citrus scent of yuzu, I gravitated... No, wait, that's not gonna work. Let's try that again. Friday, March 6, 2015. Plane rides over. The airplane food was okay, but what even was that pink stuff? Whatever, who cares, we're in Greece now. Finally, the peaceful tourist, Hey, wait, this kind of looks like the US. I mean, we aren't actually in the US, but it just looks so similar. There are Mercedes taxis, but what's so special about Greece anyway? That question motivated me to dig deep and transform my trip from a guided tour into a more open kind of exploration. Unsure of what topic I would choose for my video project, I kept my eyes and heart open to intimidation. I found that when I find something intriguing, it allows me to explore it in the most depth, and I wanted to use that approach to try teasing out a video topic from my experiences over the course of the trip. Along the way from the airport to the hotel, I noticed some graffiti on the highway. It seemed a bit out of place. Who would go out to a road in the middle of nowhere just to spray a tag? I shrugged it off, thinking that it was some kind of outlier, but little did I know that it was only the beginning of both the graffiti I found in Athens and my fascination with it. Throughout the rest of the trip, I kept seeing more and more graffiti. Where there were people, there was graffiti. Near shops in the flea market, between houses, apartment buildings, and train cars. There were so many pieces, and they also varied so wildly from place to place, from the subjects that were presented, to how much color was used, or not, all the way to how intricate and detailed the work was. Of course, some graffiti was unappealing, but hey, nothing we do is perfect after all. Some pieces were individual tags, others were group names, and others still were murals. The group names were especially interesting. Seeing how wildly, and in how many places, a group would paint its name, showed how skilled and dedicated a group was. And keeping that in mind, while looking at all the group names throughout Athens, kind of brought out a sense of competition between the groups. It was as if they were trying to show both each other and the world who was the most skilled and deserving of recognition, without ever needing to confront each other in person. That apparent passion for demonstrating skills, unrestricted creativity, and the whole aspect of competition between groups reminded me of the demo scene, a subculture in computer art that focuses on generative or real-time digital art. That kind of art is primarily made using raw programming and math skills. There's no fancy video editing software to help in this case, in order to generate stunning visuals and showcase a unique kind of creativity, one born out of highly sharpened skills and specialized knowledge. Even the attitude of the art style, pushing creative boundaries with flair, is shared between demos and graffiti. The demo scene is also active in Greece. One of the leading demo groups, Andromeda Software Development, is Greek. I was completely drawn in by both the process and the result. In the end, people had to cross fences or climb walls to make these works, and the results were, in some cases, breathtaking. Even when there were no physical barriers to producing the work, like in the town on the way up from the Agora to the Acropolis, the intricacy and skill displayed in the works had me chasing them up and down side roads and alleyways. I was amazed, affronted, and impressed. However, I didn't see anything on the ancient sites we visited. Not a single tag. I didn't see any police officers or guards near those sites either, even at night. Why was that? Could it have been that the ancient sites were left alone, out of a sense of respect for ancient art? Or perhaps the street artists and taggers wanted to contribute positively to the art scene in Athens, not simply vandalize property or selfishly leave their mark without thought. On the other hand, what if the element of vandalism is still present in Greek graffiti, but in a kind of sympathetic way? Only buildings or structures that are considered modern noise in the cultural and historic context of Athens are vandalized, and in a sense welcomed, that is, brought into their own cultural and artistic context in a new Athens. Put differently, maybe it's a kind of necessary destruction of a space in order to allow for new growth, tossing out a plain and boring appearance to build up a coherent but diverse, unique and local aesthetic. Also, given the current state of Greece's economy, maybe the amount of graffiti makes sense. Perhaps the graffiti is a collective shout, a shared channel of expression for the people of Athens, trying to make some sense of where their country is now and where it's headed. After all, don't artists draw inspiration from both their own feelings about, and the reality of, the world around them? From my point of view, the graffiti served as a window into the turbulence that Athens, both as a city and the people within it, felt. Throughout history, art in Greece has changed in response to significant historical events. Similar to the shift from the classic period to the Hellenistic period in Greek art due to conflict, could it be that what I saw was history in the making? Both the existence of, and many of the subjects dealt with in the art, were responses to the economic downturn and political situation in Greece. Overall, I feel like I didn't just tour or visit Athens. I feel like I met Athens. If the clothing we wear expresses our boldness, then Athens was dressed in an intimidating outfit of angst, hope, and passion, all for the world to see. Like Aristotle's on-the-ground epistemology, I acquired my knowledge of Athens through direct experience. I asked the walls how the streets were doing, and they responded with frustration. I asked the unfinished buildings about the economy, and what I got back was weariness. Through those and other repeated experiences, I built up memories that developed into an insight about the physical and social landscapes of Athens. But you know what? Looking back on it, my experiences weren't just my own. They were shared with other people on the trip. From climbing Mount Lycabettus at dawn and watching the sunrise, to getting amazing desserts from that one awesome place near the hotel, I don't think that I did anything meaningful alone. Now that I think about it, I didn't just gain knowledge about Athens through direct experience. I gained knowledge about myself and the people around me too. Maybe Aristotle was right with his epistemology after all. Through the multiple experiences that I had with others, I built up memories. Cherished, meaningful memories of not only the experiences that I had on the trip, but of the kind and friendly people who I shared those experiences with. In the end, I think that my adventures were not simply about leaving the beaten path of tourism. They were about leaving my comfort zone and diving wholeheartedly into what initially seemed intimidating. Whether it was taking a second look at graffiti and seeing something more than vandalism, or facing new experiences with a why not attitude, I embraced my uncomfort zone. I'm glad I did, and I'm grateful for everyone that was there with me. Hey, wait a second. You didn't think that I was just going to tell you about embracing my uncomfort zone, did you?
From a pig-skin Yankee to a blue-black southerner, ditch digger or governor, just do what you like. Look how you like.